On the Radio is brought to you by Zurich Insurance, the perfect place to catch up with all things Melbourne. If you enjoy this content and want more inside access from the team, make sure you visit the club website.
Oh, well, our next guest has been on numerous times this year. He's provided entertainment, humour, warmth, laughter and light in what is a difficult year for many people. But last night, he put Melbourne on top of the ladder at the end of the home and away season for the first time since 1964. It was never in doubt. This is how he did it.
Lever tries to pinpoint a mark and gets one.
15 seconds to go.
Gawn, who's been such a key plank in this last quarter comeback, drifts forward and marks 20 metres out to win the game. It rests on his shoulders. Siren has sounded. High drama in the search for the minor premiership. Melbourne will finish the season on top of the AFL ladder for the first time since 1964, and they do it in the most dramatic of fashions.
Maxi Gawn joins us on the show. I'm picturing him at the moment, listening to that, in a smoking jacket, maybe with his slippers on, with a little latte to his side, hopefully with a smile on his face. The captain of Melbourne. I know there's a lot to come, Maxi, but by gee, congratulations to you and your team last night in providing us one of the games of the year, one of the highlights of the year. It was absolutely fantastic, mate. Congratulations.
Thanks, Howie. You couldn't have got that picture more wrong. I'm not in a coat or drinking a latte. I'm sitting in my car currently. Just went and did a beach recovery.
Did you? Well, how times have changed, Max.
Yes, correct. I mean, I still love my coffee, Howie, but I've chosen to give that a miss today and just get in the beach.
Hey, talk us through the last minute of the game. The boys will delve into how you did it from 44 points down, but the last minute, it's massive in the history of the footy club, but how did you see it all unfold?
I mean, you don't get a sense of time out there. I remember we had a stoppage near the bench and they told us a minute to go, but that goes out one ear pretty quickly. So when all that stuff happened with the deliberate and then when Jake Lever got the 50, I still thought there was a fair bit of time left in the game. And once he got the 50, I knew I had to track forward because Stanley was probably going to impact that contest if I didn't go forward. So just to get down there. And then I had a feeling that Lever was probably not going to make the distance. So I thought maybe just get myself in a little pocket of space and see if he can lock eyes with me. And we locked eyes and I took the mark and it got interesting from there. I took the mark and with no crowd, you can hear absolutely everything from the Geelong players. And most of those guys were there in 2018 when I decided to miss one. And Tom Hawkins is on the mark and reminded me every little bit about that play. And but I actually, quite funny, I was trying to rush it. So before the siren, I didn't take my 30 seconds and I was going in. I just wanted to kick the goal. And then the siren went. And once the siren went, I was kicking that goal no matter what.
Clayton Oliver had that much confidence in your kicking, Max. He wasn't even watching. He was talking to Paddy Dangerfield about his calf. They were both looking the opposite direction.
Yeah, it's a Clayton's a different cat, as I've probably mentioned on this a few times. He didn't have much confidence in me, so he thought to get his mind off the task, he thought he'd talk to Danger about his leg, and Danger told him to shut up. He's focusing on the result.
Maxie, I thought you would never miss, and then I heard your post-game interview where you said, well, the first part of it was just trying to make sure the footy hit my boot, and at that stage I was a bit concerned.
My set shot's pretty easy. If I get my ball drop right, it goes straight. If I get my ball drop wrong, all sorts happen. So that is basically as much as it comes to it is about just getting the ball at the right point of my foot. So if I focus on that, the rest takes care of itself.
It worked perfectly. Nathan does a segment where you have to buy, sell, or hold. It's called Brownie Stock Exchange, Maxie. He put this to us in the last segment.
Okay, we saw Max Gawn last night kick
Maxie.
the winner. Brilliant winner. Max Gawn kicking after the siren for your life.
So, no, I'm holding that.
Hold. I think he'll nail it every time, Maxie.
I'm buying that.
And there's a fair chance we'll play this to him. I was behind you. I don't think Rox is too confident, Maxie.
Creative editing.
Were you buying yourself after the siren?
You went very quickly there, Ross.
Yes, it did.
I've got it.
Reminiscent about the NCG moment, Maxie.
Yeah, I've got a bad record just before the siren, but post siren, I think I'm really good.
But is it also fair to say, Max, that you secretly enlisted Ben Dixon, a goal-kicking specialist, to sort of revamp your goal-kicking technique and approach a couple of years ago?
Ben Dixon seeked me to see if he can fix my goal kicking, and
is that right?
I didn't go to Dicko, but we had a little chat. But as much as I would love to pump up that question, I haven't had much to do with Dicko in the last 3 years. So
Jeez, is that a bit of self-promotion from Dicko there?
That's not how he tells the story, Goynie.
Hey, he'd be one of those blokes, they find the vulnerable in the change rooms, give them the soft ear. Max, can you take us to halftime? Like, I was watching that game, you looked in all sorts, I tuned into another game, and then what was the messaging? What were you feeling? Because it was an incredible turnaround. I just think it's just really brought you up cherry right for the finals. But Simon seems to be at his best coaching in that coaching panel. What was the messaging?
It was an intriguing game. We thought that a lot of the key indicators were in our favour. Even though we were 40 points down, they kicked 4 centre bounce goals in a row. And Ross, I know from a coach that would be almost the most irritating way to go down with goals, because you can't really defend that.
That's your area too, Max.
Correct. It's the 4 guys in there and no one else. And if they just got lucky, or we defended poorly 4 in a row. And that was almost the difference, apart from maybe another couple of goals. So we knew we had to clean up the centre bounce, but the rest of the stuff wasn't too bad. We just had to finish off our work. And
how were they getting you in there? What, you showing your back, or you hitting in the wrong spot? What was going on?
There was a bit of that. We'll probably banking on the first possession stuff a bit too much, banking on me hitting it to Clary and us just getting the clearance, rather than maybe defending danger, or maybe the other 2 guys in the stoppage being a little bit more defensive. And when you hit 4 in a row, all of a sudden Stanley's got confidence, Danger's got confidence, and it's hard to stop once they're fully confident, even if you are switched on doing the right things. So the halftime hooter probably came at a good time for us to reset. And the second half, some of the stoppage work from Clayton Oliver, James Harms, and Jack Viney went to Danger in the last quarter, and I'm pretty sure Danger didn't have too much of an impact in the last quarter as well. So the little midfield brigade did their job in the second half.
Oh, Clayton Oliver was outstanding, Maxie. So super, come from behind win. They all get around you, then you go into the rooms, and then Mark Choco Williams just proceeds to dominate the team's song right in the middle. What was happening there with Choco? Because he was going off his head.
We need a crowd, because you can hear Choco the whole game. He is very irritating to the opposition. I remember Marlborough Chol in a JLT game had maybe 15, 16 touches, and Choco told him about it every single time he got the ball. I felt they must have had some sort of connection when Choco was at Richmond. But Choco, it was his 62nd birthday for Choco Williams, and he likes to make it about himself. And he actually asked if he can get in the song, and if we can sing the second verse, so it goes for a long time. But no, it was good to have Choco in the middle of the song.
We are speaking to victorious Melbourne captain Max Gawn on the Sunday Rub. Here's Jay Clark.
What does the win do for your confidence levels, Maxie? I think Ross said off the top, this would just be enormous for a playing group to come back from behind and not give up in that last quarter. How do you feel coming into that? Because it's been a long time since you won a premiership, longest premiership drought in the game, 1964. You must just have so much belief.
Yeah, we were 3 on the trot going into that game, so we'd had a fair bit of confidence since that Hawthorn draw that we were back playing the right footy and doing what we want to do out on the field. And the West Coast game was incredible, and they almost pinched it at the end, but then Adelaide was quite good. And we knew that to really put ourselves in the map, it's to go to hostile territory where the club hasn't performed to its best in the last 10 years against a side that's probably the informed team of the comp. And it was something we really wanted to do, and to sit pole. I mean, there's something about sitting first. I know 8 teams basically start a new season now, and basically anything that happened in the first 23 weeks is scrapped. But to sit pole just gives you that confidence. It lets you know that you were the best team for 23 weeks, and hopefully we can take some of that out. But watching Brisbane this morning, I had a look at their highlights this morning. It's going to be a pretty good match there. I said Geelong was the informed team, but Brisbane aren't far off.
congratulations, Maxie, on finishing on top. You must have read my article because that's pretty much exactly what I said. That, the team that wins the minor premiership, there should be more accolade that goes your way. I think it should be monetary because there's no other way you can do it. But if it's $1 million for a premiership, it should be $500,000 for a minor premiership. So congratulations on that. I totally agree. I want to ask you about Melcham and Hibberd because in my eyes from afar, and I don't get to see you live every single week, but those two are in your best team. So where does that sit?
Yeah, we have a good squad of 40, but definitely about 30 that can play right now. Nathan Jones, I'd add to that list as well, that are all just sitting there ready to go. And yeah, Melcham's been in and out and did a really good job on McGovern in the West Coast game. But we had Jack Viney coming back in, and Goody thought the best was to bring Jack Viney to be able to play that role on Selwood and Danger. So I can see Melksham coming back in over the next few weeks to play a different role as well. With the Hibberd case, I mean, he's been really good all year, and Joel Smith got given a chance to play last week with Stephen May's late withdrawal, and Joel Smith was the only reason why we were in the game at half-time against the Crows. He was super in that first half, and the coaching panel thought that Joel Smith would match up on Gary Rowland a little bit better than what Hibbo did, so Brisbane this week, if it's Lincoln McCarthy or Charlie Cameron, maybe they think the other way and think Michael Hibberd's the better matchup for Charlie Cameron. So that's how close those guys are to playing.
Yep.
So I can see it flipping. We can stay with Joel Smith and Tom Sparrow this week, but I can also see Jake Melksham and Michael Hibberd coming in.
Maxie Gawn is with us on the Sunday Rub. Maxie, we hear so much these days, probably in the last 5 to 10 years, about mental preparation as well as physical preparation and even imagery where athletes sit down at a quiet time and visualise what they are trying to achieve. Have you sat there at any stage and thought, this is what it is, this is me walking up on the dais as the Melbourne captain holding up the Premiership Cup, or do you not go down that path and she's still the old, take it 1 week at a time?
Somewhere in between the two, I think. I mean, I'm not a big cliche man. I definitely don't live by 1 week at a time. You can certainly look forward. Our goal is to win a flag. That's our goal from round 1, to win a flag. So why, when it gets to round 23, do we start saying 1 week at a time? I think our goal is to still win a flag, and I certainly can picture myself there in that last day of September. But am I completely all about that every week? No, probably not. I definitely can reset and stay in the moment. And for example, in that Geelong game, I mean, we could be 40 points down and start thinking about Port Adelaide away qualifying final straight away, or we can stay in the moment and realise the opportunity that we have to be able to put a comeback against a side that's really good and maybe see them later on in September and show them what we got. So it's a good question. It's probably in between the both.
How is the All-Australian captain for mine, this man?
No doubt.
Is he in your team, Brownie?
Yes, as the ruck.
And the captain?
Well, I didn't put a captain in, but I'm happy to have Max after last night's heroics. Definitely.
Maxie, can you tell us about the running man, Ed Langdon? Give our listeners an insight to the running man.
He's a big fan of you, Ross. I don't know what you did to him early on.
Ross told him to run.
Ross just said, run, mate, run, keep running.
Well, I let him be himself. He's a quirky individual. Loves the inner north, the Brownie's old stomping ground, the grunge of Fitzroy.
He's definitely a quirky individual. I'm not sure how you were reading it early on in Perth, but you get those Melbourne people that come across it. You just have a feeling they were coming home. I reckon Ed Langdon was 100% chance to come home, Ross.
He was always coming home.
He was always coming home.
I was coming with him.
He signed with Melbourne because we sold him this dream of training the Gosh's paddock, and he lived at Brunswick. And within the first week, we were at Casey Fields, and he's driving 50k to training. So I'm not sure if he's happy with his move, but. No, I heard you guys talking before about picking a winger to play in the All-Australian team. He was certainly there in the first half of the year. And, along with McCluggage and Seedsman and these kind of guys, the wing role is certainly back. And Ed Langdon and Angus Brayshaw, we think we've got a weapon with those two wingers. They can both play inside and they can both run, and then they can both take some marks. And
and I think he'll blossom in the finals, Max. I think he's just that player that will find something and doesn't crumble under the pressure. His run will just be incredible. He'll go right to the end, as you know. So it's going to be a special time for the Melbourne Football Club. I think we've all sat over a long period of time, and you see Nathan Jones in the seconds. Like he's every part of it. And I think Matthew Hogg played in the flag in 95. He didn't play one game all year and then brought in for the grand finals. So those guys need to understand that anything can happen. There's a wonderful opportunity for them as well.
I think COVID has worn Ed down. He came across, and I remember his first week he was saying he can't wait to be a lifetime Melbourne player and play to late 30s and get 200 games. Now he's struggling to get out his 4-year contract. He wants to go next year, I think. I think he wants to go live in Colombia somewhere and just get off the grid.
Hey, Maxie, we appreciate your time. We often mess around on this show, but you've been with us 3, 4, 5 times throughout the year. You've always told us exactly what's happening. You've been good of humour and put a smile on our face, mate. You put a lot of smiles on faces last night's big performance, but also by having a chat with us today, mate. We appreciate it. Everyone in the box wishes you and the Melbourne Football Club best of luck going forward. And once again, mate, we've really appreciated your time and your laughs throughout the season on the Sunday Rub.
Thanks, guys. And Jay-Z, I can't believe you went to the article again. I just can't believe you tried guessing salaries again.
2 years in a row.
I've had a guts full of that article, Max. I just copped the over.
Good on you, Maxie. Stay safe. We'll see you in September. Great to speak to Max Gawn.